Hey, Malcolm, it's a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Robert.
Yeah, so here we are in rainy Vancouver, and it's our first time in person having a conversation, but we had a good interview a couple of weeks ago, and I learned about the Kolos project, the Bertha Target, the Sonic targets, Lodi, and it's an exciting time for Torr Metals because you're about to close a financing and about to start a new drill program. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, certainly. So that's our financing. We just announced a $2.8 million financing a couple of days ago. That's to fund up to 5,000 meters of drilling on the Kolos project, which is located in southern BC. With that, how we're going to use the money for that 5,000 meters, we're going to first go after our phase one drill target, which is the Bertha Target. So we've spent the last 2 years really defining 4 significant copper-gold porphyry targets on the project. They're arranged on either side of Highway 5, easy road accessibility right off the highway. And the Bertha target, what we see most recently in the IP is a sizable 900-meter long chargeability anomaly that's on the margins of a historical exploration pit that back in the day produced 30 tons at just over 2% copper. This has never been followed up on with drilling. So that's what we'll be looking for first, is dedicating about 1,500 to 2,000 meters of drilling at the Bertha target, really testing the potential near surface of high-grade copper mineralization. What we're seeing is a style of mineralizing system very similar to the new Afton deposit, which is located about 30 kilometers to the northeast. So the target here being a mid-tonnage but high-grade copper-gold porphyry system.
Okay, so we start at Bertha. That's sort of the low-hanging fruit at the project. But the real main event, from what I understand, is the Sonic target area. This is a big alteration, at surface. You've got strong soil anomalies, and it looks like it could be a big porphyry there. So tell us about Sonic.
Yeah, so Sonic is located just about 7 kilometers to the east of Bertha, on the east side of Highway 5. So we're talking about an area that's just 30 kilometers to the south of Kamloops. Kamloops really being at the center of the heart of copper mining in British Columbia. It's part of the Southern Quesnel Trough, a big district of copper, large copper deposits, large copper mines. We're actually surrounded by 3 operating mines at Copper Mountain to our south, Highland Valley, Canada's largest open pit copper mine to the west, and then New Afton to our north. All that being said, that this is a land where you can get larger than 500 million ton copper porphyry deposits. So that's what we're seeing the Sonic zone as it develops. It's about 4.5 square kilometers of anomalism in soil and surface mineralization and outcrop. Like all of our 4 targets, it's never been drilled. And what we're doing this fall as well is doing some additional surface geochemical sampling, looking to see if we could potentially expand that geochemical footprint, possibly even double it with the size of the alteration that we're seeing at surface. So very excited with the Sonic target. That's something that has greater similarities to something like the Ajax deposit, which is just 30 kilometers to our north. Ajax contained 3 billion pounds of copper, 3 million ounces of gold.
Yeah, so Sonic, to me, looks like a very exciting target to get drilled. But you're starting at Bertha. You have the permits there. It seems to be a shallower target, possibly. So tell us about when you'll get to Sonic, you think?
I think with Sonic, so our 3 porphyry targets, the Bertha, Lodi, and Kirby, those are all drill permitted at this time. So Sonic, we've got a permit pending on that one. I would expect spring of 2026, which gives us time to do some additional geochemical work, boots on the ground, some IP to really define and vector in onto the potential core of a large porphyry system at Sonic. In the meantime, we test Bertha with that high-grade potential, something like New Afton back in the 1970s when it was mined in an open pit. It produced 23 million tons at a percent copper and 0.6 grams per ton gold. So if we do find a similarly high-grade type porphyry system at Bertha, then that certainly is a great starting point, I think, for Torr Metals.
That is a great starting point. I mean, these days, if you have 1% copper and zero point 0.6 grams per ton gold, we can actually call that high grade.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, like 50 years ago, they didn't even think that was very impressive. But now we're like 1% copper. Oh my God, that's super high grade. So at Bertha, tell us about the timing of this. So you're raising money now. I think you've got it all closed. It's about to be closed. So once those funds clear, what's the timeline?
Yeah, so with the financing being done right now, the 2.8 million, that's all spoken for at this time. We are aiming to close by about October 10th, and that's just because a large portion of the 2.8 million, 2.4 is a charity flow through. So we just need that extra time, about 3 weeks or so. So once that is all filled out, we are looking to mobilize for drilling here in October, start testing the Bertha Target at that time. This area, we have a very large window of a weather window where we can operate. With our proximity to nearby towns and cities, we also don't have an exploration camp, don't need one. We operate out of the city of Kamloops. With that, the potential here as well for year-round operation.
That's nice to be able to operate out of a big town like that. So what's the cost to drill then? It's got to be pretty low, huh?
Yeah, pretty low, I would estimate. I like to include the additional costs of geological crews, of accommodation and food still that you have to provide. So all the logistical costs comes down to about $400 per meter of drilling in this area.
$400 a meter. And so the phase one program at Bertha will be how many meters?
So looking at 1,500 to 2,000 meters of drilling.
Okay, very good. And then you drill until when about?
I would estimate that we'll probably be drilling into late November and then probably start to receive assays on that about a month following that.
Okay, so you get assays probably let's just push it out to January because we know these labs are a little slow around the holidays. So you start to get assays back in January, permits for Sonic in spring, so that's March, April. And then if all goes well and the market is as robust and buoyant as it is right now, another financing for Sonic, right?
Well, with the financing even right now, we should be covered for up to 5,000 meters of drilling. So only dedicate a portion of that to Bertha. That will give us the flexibility as well that we would be able to pivot into other targets without having to go back to the market.
See, that's why I do these interviews, because I learn stuff too. I don't know all the answers. All right. Thanks, Malcolm. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cheers.